Two. Hello.
No.
That's enough of
Hello.
that. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. And
Hello.
welcome to A Run with a View. Two middle-aged blokes shuffling down the information superhighway, groaning on about the movies they love and drinking rum.
Rum.
Not red rum.
Not
just
red. No.
brown rum.
Yeah.
Rum and coke.
Yeah.
Rum and cola. Sorry.
Well,
Cokes are
spiced
available.
rum with mango juice.
I'm going to tell you what brand I'm drinking later on. I'm Stu.
Okay, and I'm Alan.
Okay, Alan. What is Alan? Okay, Alan. Yeah. What is today's film?
Oh, sorry, I've got a little bit of red on me. It's Shaun of the Dead.
It's Shaun of the Dead. There we go. They released way back in 2004.
Yeah, I know.
This is the full-on, properly budgeted feature directorial debut of Edgar Wright.
Indeed.
It was advertised as a romantic comedy with zombies.
Yeah,
and
which
that's pretty much what it is. Yeah,
I think it's an ensemble of different things. It's a comedy. It's a horror zombie movie. It's a romantic comedy. It's
a banquet of genres, isn't it?
It is. It certainly is, and that's what these guys. That's what Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright are very good at, and Nick Frost as well. So yeah.
In case you haven't seen it, and why would you be watching this video? But because thank you for watching the video.
No.
But why would you be watching this video if you haven't seen the film? But just in case, it's about a guy called Shaun. Hence the title. He's a slacker, everyman trying to sort his life out just at the moment when London gets overrun by the undead. It's inconvenient timing. Yeah. Or is it? Well, I'll come on that in a minute. It's from the creative team behind one of my all-time favourite sitcoms, which is
Spaced.
Which I've also got on DVD. I could show you that. I probably bothered standing up and going and messing up the thing. Well, almost. Edgar Wright directed it and co-wrote it with Simon Pegg, who co-wrote and appeared in Spaced, alongside, let me get this right, Nick Frost, Julia Deakin, Peter Serafinowicz, and Michael Smiley, all of whom appear in this film.
Exactly. Most of the cast in Spaced are very much in this. Even one of the doppelgammers is.
Well, see, now this is the thing.
Yeah.
I've always had a little bit of a problem with this film. Well, not a problem, but a concern about this film.
Okay, go on.
Spaced was written by Simon Pegg and Jessica Stevenson.
Yes.
Who played Daisy to his Tim.
Yeah.
And it's always kind of bugged me a little bit that, because she is in Shaun of the Dead. She has a small role as Shaun's she's like an antimatter version of Shaun. She's got her own little band of survivors, and they all sort of bump into each other, and all
which is hilariously funny.
Corresponds with it's really cute.
It's brilliant.
But I've always, and it's a lovely moment. It's a lovely sort of thing, But I've always wondered why she wasn't sort of more involved with the film than that. Like, you know what I mean? Like was she busy? Did they not have a part for her? Did they?
I think they didn't want to make it as a kind of Space 2. I think I'm speculating here. I really am speculating here, but I think they didn't want it to be an out space movie.
Well, I mean, because that would make sense if almost everybody else wasn't. So. Well, what I mean? She just seems like a particular.
I mean, she's in. I think that's the main reason why. I would say that's the main reason why. The only answer we could get to that question would be actually ask Edgar Wright or Simon Pegg themselves anyway. But I mean, they've always said that there's never going to be a Shaun Dead 2.
Or a Space Series 3.
Or a Space Series 3. It was of its time. It was of when you were of that age. And again, if you think about The World's End as well, I think that was a kind of tying up of those kind of movies anyway.
Yeah, because it's a trilogy, isn't it? That's the final one.
It is a trilogy, and they were ready to kind of move on from that style of film, which I'm quite happy with, because again, trying to dig out sort of stuff when it's dead, when it's long gone, movie execs are just trying to make more money running out of rehashes and stuff. I'm happy with their professionality to go, no, that's it. Enjoy it for what it was. We're ready to move on to other things. So
they care about it enough to leave it alone.
Exactly.
So anyway, whatever it is, Jessica, if you're watching, please do comment below. I'm not trying to start any fights or anything. I've always
exactly. Email us and tell us that you cut me out. I was expecting to be the main part of the movie. No, it'd be hilarious.
But anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
Another little thing I think is interesting because as you probably can't see from the thing, it's a bit too small, but and the resolution isn't brilliant. The film is rated 15 in the UK.
No way.
Which I've always thought. See, I always had the idea in my head that it was an 18, which is the strongest.
Yeah. Well,
level.
I'm a bit surprised. I was expecting 18 because of only one particular scene.
I think I know the scene you mean.
Yeah.
Is it David?
It is David.
Yes.
And he gets his just deserves.
He gets literally torn apart.
Yeah,
it's as graphic as the Dawn of the Dead and the George A. Romero zombie films that it's a kind of homage to. So,
but I think I can understand a 15 certificate because space is 15 because of its context and swearing and drugs and.
Oh yeah, it's at least a 15. Yeah,
it's at least a 15. So I think trying to keep it to the same level is what their intentions were. So I'm a little bit surprised, but not really.
At this juncture in the conversation, are you right there? What are you doing?
I'm just readjusting my cushion. I'm just trying to get.
Oh, you're readjusting your. I thought you were going to say something else.
No, I'm an old man. I like to get comfortable.
I know what you mean. Yes. Well, now then.
So why don't you tell everybody when we first saw this?
Yes. So, well, see, normally at this juncture, I would ask you when and where you first saw the film. But on this particular occasion, yes, I already know the answer.
Exactly. We both do.
Shall I tell them?
Go ahead. Please do.
We both saw this film on the 25th of April, 2004.
We did.
At the UGC West India Quay Cinema, which is now the Cineworld West India Quay in London's Glittering Docklands. Well, I'll say glittering, more like smudged. With a couple of our longest serving friends, and we were all so young it would make you sick.
Exactly.
And we were celebrating the quiz show that we lost.
Yeah. Exactly.
So anyway.
Yeah. Good times. Very good times.
And the other thing I wanted to say about this, now Shaun the Dead is well, there's many things I want to say about it. The next thing I want to say about it. I mean, I think we're probably not going to do too many horror movies on our channel. Why is that, Alan?
Because I don't like horror movies. I'm sorry.
Why don't you like horror movies?
I don't like getting scared. So that's
don't like being scared.
So,
Alan doesn't like being scared, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I don't like jump scares. That's it.
Is it only jump scares?
Hands up, it's jump scares. It's really jump scares. But then saying that, I love American Werewolf in London.
Which has quite a few jump scares in it.
Which has got quite a few jump scares, and those I could go because I know they're coming now. But
so they're all right if you don't.
So they're all right.
Jump.
Yeah,
as long as you're warned about the jump scares before they happen.
The bed in the forest, you know it's coming. So yeah.
Oh yeah. I know what you mean.
Slow-moving zombie movement horror movies are much more palatable. I say palatable with all the guts and gore, but than fast running like 28 days and 28 weeks. That's a legend and that sort of thing. They're a bit different.
You can withstand them, I suppose, because a zombie is too slow to jump up.
Exactly, that's it.
You see him coming from a while away.
Zombie Land and all the rest of it, and it's just like it's funny. It is comical. The zombies are funny. There are a lot of people out there like me that just don't like the kind of horror, don't like the jump scares, don't like maybe some of the gore, whereas zombie movies seem in some ways are kind of such a separation from reality.
Maybe, but if that's the case, then maybe it's that there's a kind of common denominator between maybe it is just that because not all horror films are scary. Some of them are just
true. They're like thriller. Yeah, exactly.
Or just unpleasant. I mean, horror doesn't necessarily have to, a horror movie doesn't have to be a scary film. It could just be For me, it could be disgust, or it could be. Shall we move on to techniques and style and that sort of heading that I've got in my incredibly well organised notes? As I said, we both really loved Spaced.
It came out. I think we were of that right age as well. We were at the similar
with the same sort of age,
late 20s, early 30s. We watched and lived the kind of the world has spaced ourselves.
Yeah. We responded to it on a.
We responded to it. We could have been characters in it just as much as anyone else. As well as a lot of the friends that we were and still are in contact with.
I used to know Tyres. He wasn't called Tyres, but I used to know Tyres. Yeah,
exactly.
And I knew Tims and Daisies, and
I married a Daisy.
But I think, I think one of the things that, because the thing about Spaced is they always used to. I think that the people say about it is that it was it's sort of a sort of suburban, well not suburban, but urban really. But it's sort of sitcom, but it's kind of shot like an action movie. That was kind of the gimmick,
Well, exactly.
And I think Edgar Wright as the director, he's kind of carried that hyperkinetic visual style over to this movie. There's lots of moments there are moments in this film that really particularly made me think of Space. The sort of what should we do next montage where where Ed and Shaun and Ed are in the flat. They've figured out that the zombie apocalypse is happening. They're sitting there. They've just taken down the guy with one arm. And they've the zombie one arm, I should say.
And two in the garden.
Two in the garden with the records, and they're sort of sitting there thinking what to do next, and they sort of go through these like, okay, here's a plan, and so like Tim's, I'll say Tim because that's his character.
Yeah, exactly.
Shaun sort of turns around and goes, okay, here's a plan, and he says like, we can go to Barbara's, we can go to Liz's, we can go to the Winchester, and it's like a sort of repeated montage of ending with a sort of like wink at the camera and a sip of a cup of tea or a pint of beer or whatever it is. That is a very good example of that could totally been an episode of Spaced. That particular one.
It has been. I'm sure it has.
Yeah, some variation of it. Yeah, they've done things like that in Spaced. Absolutely. I mean, I've watched Spaced. We've both watched Spaced. I've watched Spaced. I haven't watched it for a while, not since its 20th anniversary, but I've watched Spaced so many times, like over and over, because I kept showing it to people who hadn't seen it. People come over and say, "Have you seen Spaced?" No, I've never seen it. And like, someone got me in. It's very much a word of mouth thing.
Yeah, it was.
So I found out. But I never watched it when it was originally on. But
do you know how the idea of Shaun of the Dead came about?
Yes, but our brave, patient listeners might not.
No.
So, how did the idea of Shaun of the Dead come about, Alan?
Well, oddly enough, it came from an episode from Spaced.
That's interesting. Which one?
It was the one where Tim had taken an enormous amount of drugs and basically been playing a Resident Evil on the PS1 or was it PS1 or PS2? I think it was PS2. Incessantly to the point where he'd started hallucinating and actually seeing zombies all over the place, and he's there in their flat with a shotgun and
down the pub and out in the theatre and everything everywhere.
And from that, when they shot it, Pegg had said to Edgar when they finished doing it, wouldn't it be amazing if we could do our own zombie movie? And that kind of planted the seed. So all the way through the rest of shooting Spaced and stuff, they just picked up these bits and pieces. And of course, when they finished Spaced, it was like, well, what are we going to do now? Let's do the zombie movie.
Did you see my screen went all gold for a minute there? It's gone back to normal now. I think just
it's
holding this DVD in front of it's confused it.
Do it again. Anyway. Make yourself go gold.
Gold. Oh no, my screen is frozen.
It's the blue.
Never mind,
it's the blue. It's the blue.
It's done it again. Look at that.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my god, I hope this carries over in the recording. I hope it plays.
Well,
back.
it will. It will.
Because what's happening?
It's the blue from your screen being reflected off of the covers of the DVDs, and then there's too much blue, so it compensates it by putting yellow, which is an opposite colour to blue.
So anyway, back to Shaun of the Dead.
Yep.
We might go on to cinematography later. I don't know, but I think the sort of the primary joke of the film, really, I think, is the idea that you again, like I said before, you transpose, move the sort of action movie visual language, visual grammar. Into this kind of suburban setting. It's kind of which again they did with Hot Fuzz, doing it, which was an actual action movie, but set in Somerset, Wells, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So yeah, it's that's the sort of main joke. It's like, wouldn't it be funny if ... But the other main joke is that Shaun and most of the people around him, they're also wrapped up in their own lives that, you know, when the apocalypse happens, the zombie apocalypse happens, you get, there's all little clues. You hear it on little snippets of radio announcements and all that kind of thing. You see people, you know, falling over, falling down dead at the bus stop and all that kind of thing. And the guy in the park eating the bird and all that, the homeless guy. But then nobody notices because they're all sort of just so wrapped up in their own lives. I mean, nowadays, you know, it'd be even easier to make the film because everyone just be doing this.
Exactly.
This is sort of, you know, breakdown of society. We're all detached.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of
and then it cuts that other shot with the really nice, sort of like the teenagers, the hoodies, all sort of trundling down that pathway, or walking as if they are a zombie, but kind of like stoned out as hoodie teenagers.
Yeah,
which we all were at that stage of our lives. But
I don't know what you mean, Mum.
Yeah, really.
I don't know what he means.
I know.
I mean, I think there's one particular technique question I wanted to ask you because and I asked because I was watching this with my infinitely better half, and we had a little I had to pause the film.
Okay,
I've stayed yellow, but never mind. We had to pause the film. I quite like it. I like it. It's gold.
Spandau gold.
Yeah. But there's a particular you know, I'm sure you'll know the shot I mean. It's when Shaun and Ed come back from the pub because Liz has dumped Shaun, and they get told off by the other flatmate Peter, who's like, "I'll work in the morning." Oh, you're an idiot. I'm like, and Shaun goes into the kitchen and he writes, and it's like a sort of, he writes down, "Get Liz back." Next things to do in the morning on the fridge. Get Liz back, sort life out, or whatever. Get milk, whatever, you know. And there's a sort of wide shot of the whole kitchen, and it's sort of like a sort of side on the fridge at one side of the shot, and Shaun at the other side as he sort of stumbles back, falls into the chair,
falls asleep in the chair, and then wakes up in the morning.
But that shot, but because it does like a sort of time jump, like bang, it's daytime from 2 and 3 in the morning to suddenly it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, is that shot? Do you think, in your professional opinion as a photographer, do you think that there's an actual cut there, an edit, or do you think that they just flicked a switch and changed the lighting setup?
Ooh, interesting.
So that they wouldn't have to reset the shot exactly as it was before. So because it seems to match absolutely perfectly. All that seems to change. It does. The nighttime, you got the through the kitchen window in the back of the shot. You got the trees sort of dancing, you know, shuddering in the moonlight. And then it's like just straight sunlight coming in. I wonder.
You know what? I'm very much 50-50 on that, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did just cut it straight day to night and then straight into it. But I think you're correct, actually. I think it was just a lighting issue. They went straight to daylight and then bang, continuation of scene. I mean, they could have cut it. They could have cut it, but you'd have to have some really, really good continuity people to go, no, your leg was let down a bit, up a bit, down a bit. That's
what I mean, because I mean the set you can keep, you can sort of lock off the, you know, sort of like don't enter the set, leave it as it is. But
but a repositioning of a person in a slouched position on a chair because he was asleep in the chair. Yeah, very, very
position,
difficult.
Really, he's got to be exact.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Don't get me wrong. I'm sure Simon Pegg is a more than accomplished enough actor to be able to do it.
Well, exactly.
It's because I looked at the shot a couple of times and I was looking at him again really closely. Like, is his leg? No, it's exactly where it was.
Yeah, it comes into that kind of like the repetitive nature of some of the shots. You know, we've got the long walking scene coming out of the house, walking across the road, going to the corner shop to get some stuff. Yeah. But the before and after. But there's a couple of these. There's the one on the bus as well. That it's not exact, but it's a very similar. So he goes to work, and then he's coming back, and
and the woman sort of falls asleep on his shoulder, like
exactly, and he's got the flowers. So there's a lot of this repetitive shots going on before and after of before zombification and after zombification, and again that's something that Edgar Wright's just done a lot in all of his movies. I mean, the fence scene as well is hilarious and brilliant because he's going, "Hi, you never taken a."
He jumps up and it just goes. And he jumps up, and just as you're at the top of it, it goes down.
You don't see him take the other fences until a bit later in the scenes where he uses the trampoline from the kids' garden to get back over the fence because his mum's gone missing.
And what film is that in reference to? Running through back gardens and jumping on a trampoline to get somewhere quickly? You probably don't know because you've never seen this film.
No, I'm not sure. I was about to say.
I won't say then because I don't want to spoil it for you. But
okay,
anyone, I bet there are people watching or listening. I hope there are people watching or listening. Watching and listening would be even better. But among those people, I bet there are some people who are thinking, "I know what film he's talking about." Alan's never seen that film. Blimey!
Well,
he must have done. He must have seen that film.
One of the other nice shots that I enjoyed was the when he gets back from the shop on the second walk, and he hasn't realised the zombie apocalypse has started, even though it has.
They're in the background of the shop.
Yeah, exactly. And he's come back, and he puts on the TV and he starts clicking through the channels, and and the commentary on the channels for each of the channels that he jumps to just gives this lovely Roman commentary of what is actually happening in the world. I just absolutely love that. That's one of my favourites.
They do a game like that on the. I'm sorry, I haven't a clue. I didn't know they have a game like they do. Like they make up a letter. Like they say, like one says "dear," the other person says "sir," the other person says "I have got a massive erection" or whatever. You know, they sort of.
I have a massive problem with
my erection. Yeah, but I don't know why I'm talking about erections. What does that have?
Yeah.
I think he does protest too much. But anyway, but it's a bit like that, and the dialogue they sort of sew the dialogue together from snippets of each. Yeah, that's really something you sort of spelling out. I mean, the script on the whole, it's a brilliant script. I mean,
it's amazing
for many reasons. One of which is it doesn't underestimate the intelligence of the audience. It doesn't spell everything out.
No.
It lets us remember the little details for ourselves. Like, for example, when on the morning of the apocalypse, you know, Shaun and Ed suddenly remember they're watching the telly, and then the guys on the telly on the news says something about, "Oh, make sure your doors are locked and everything." And they sort of both look at each other and go, "Oh no, I left the door open," which is something that they've set up the night before with the other flatmate saying, "The front door is open again." So little things like it doesn't spell it out, like, you know, like I feel like in a lesser film, you know, one of the characters will say the other one, "Oh yeah, Pete said we should have closed the front door." Almost like, you know, yeah, just get that audience. You know, they don't do any of that. It's all they just let you figure it out for yourself. But like what you were saying before about repeated things, you know, you know, sort of the setups and payoffs. It's all the visual setups and payoffs.
So much
it's all
of
in
it.
The script as well. It's.
I mean, another thing I think everybody enjoys about this movie when they watch it is that there are certain repeated lines that are all through the movie, like "You've got red on you."
Got red on.
But I mean, what are your favourite ones? What ones do you remember? What ones?
Oh, well, I mean, my favourite one-liner in the movie is, and there's a little story behind it. It's a very brief one. Is my favourite line in the movie at this time. It changes, you know, every time I watch it. But my favourite line in the movie this time is, "Okay, but dogs can look up."
Yeah.
Now, the reason I like that line, if you've seen the film, you'll know, because that is kind of a setup and payoff thing, because it's about
very much so.
There's this other guy called I think he's called Al, isn't he? Big Al or something.
Yeah, Big Al says dogs can't look up.
Yeah, but he also said the gun over the top of the pub was over the top of the bar was not loaded, was deactivated. Anyway, so now the reason that line kind of stuck with me is because before I knew that line before I saw the film. Because I went to work after the film came out, but before we saw it, I was at work one night, and a friend of mine from work, who is also a big space fan, in fact, he sort of got me into it, and he'd obviously just seen the film, probably on his way into work, because we've got nights. He came into work, he just walked up to my desk, and he just said, "Okay, but dogs can look up," and I just looked at him like this. Hey, what's that mean? And he just looked at me and he said, "You haven't seen Shaun of the Dead yet, have you?"
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the bit we were just talking about where they take down the guy, the zombie, the one-armed zombie who comes in the house and they kill him with an ashtray.
Yeah.
And because that actor apparently he was a real life amputee.
Oh right.
And but I don't know if you remember, you probably did notice this because you pay attention to these things for this. He's that same guy was because he's wearing like a wedding suit, like he's on a wedding.
He was in the shop.
Yeah, he was in the shop, and he had two arms in the shop.
Yeah.
So that was just a prosthetic arm that they put on the guy, knowing that later on they were going to have him, you know, with a bit of blood on the stump or whatever. And so that was a nice little touch. And I like the way they react when he stumbles into the room, and they just sort of look at each other. They sort of go like, "Ah!" and they jump and they go, "Oh, he's got an arm off!"
Oh, no.
I don't know why. It's the way he says like, "Oh, he's got an arm off." There's something very, I I don't know, English about that. It just sounds very familiar to me. Like
another one of my favourites is like, he's not my dad, when he's referring to Phil.
Yeah.
Which is great. And
because when he says it again, it really isn't his dad. He's been
exactly.
Oh,
that's it.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, sorry. With many spoilers coming at all of these videos.
That was my,
every
that was
me.
That was my bad. Sorry.
It's a deep dive into a movie. It's a bit hard to do deep dives without spoilers. So we do apologize.
In a zombie movie, you can probably take
a lot of
for
people
granted
die.
That some of the characters will be turned into zombies.
Exactly. That's a given anyway. So, but what just
I'll give you another good example. There's a during early on, sort of in the first act, there's the lock-in after Shaun's been chucked, and he goes to the pub with Ed and they have a lock-in, and they're sort of talking about all the other characters who do turn up later as zombies. All the other characters, in the sense of a character, not just being a character. Like always a bit of a character in the pub, like the guy Snake Hips with the cowboy boots and all that. And what's her name? The woman in the corner who's like a middle-aged woman, and she used to be a porn star. Anyway, during the lock-in, when Ed spells out the whole rest of the plot.
Yes.
When he says, like, he sort of says, here's what we'll do tomorrow. We'll have a Bloody Mary first thing, and they kill a zombie named Mary in the backyard. We'll have a bite of the King's Head.
Yeah.
When Shaun's stepdad Philip gets bitten in the head.
Exactly.
We'll have a couple of Little Princess. They go to Liz's place and pick him up.
Yeah.
Again, spoiler alert, because we're getting into the plot now. Stagger back here. They imitate zombies to get through a horde of the undead to the Winchester.
Exactly.
And bang, back at the bar for shots. And they use the rifle above the bar to shoot the zombies.
Exactly.
So people say that, it's a Swiss watch of a script, isn't it?
And again, like, what does exacerbate mean?
What does exacerbate mean? And somebody else says it. Yeah. And somebody else says that's going to exacerbate things or whatever.
Exactly.
But after what's her name? I forgot her name. Liz. After she defines the word exacerbate for the benefit of Shaun, later on in the movie, he uses it in a sentence. So he is learning, he is growing, he is developing as a character. His arc he's on his arc.
There's so many little ones.
I mean, because it's like his character revealed through action, isn't it?
Exactly.
For another example with Shaun, who is the only one who really has. Well, he's probably the only one who in the film who really has an arc, which makes sense because he's the typal character.
Indeed.
But he, like when he tries to pass, he buys flowers for his mum, and then he goes to see Liz, and he tries to give them to her, like pass them. She sees the note on it that says for a loving mum or whatever, and she calls him out on it. But like. It sort of shows that again, it's not a very nice example, but he can think on his feet, which is a sign of being good in a crisis. Because later on, he's a complete slacker when there's no problems really, when everything's kind of hunky dory. But as soon as the crisis happens, everyone else kind of goes to pieces, and he's the only one who's actually. Not intentionally. He doesn't stand. Doesn't stand up and go, right, I am the leader now. He just he does it by he leads by example.
He just steps in and just does it. I mean, you take the scene in the Jag in the car when Philip sort of like opens up to him and sort of like tells him, it was such a beautiful, lovely scene. And then of course he passes away. There's all shouting and zombies getting run over and all the rest of it. And he's getting pushed right to his limits at that point as a character. And then the emotion is so much is going on, and then bang, as soon as Phillips turns into zombie, it's like it's just gets everyone organised, gets everybody out the car, and then he's locked in the car.
They can't use the car anymore. But I love the bit where like they're standing in the front, and again the framing of the shot is lovely. It's like Shaun and his mum Barbara in the front of the shot talking to each other on the side, two shot, and in the background is the front of the car, and Philip, now zombie Philip, is like climbing
crawling over to get to the front of the car to turn the tape off.
But it's because he says because Shaun says to his mum, he says that is he's like really, that is not your husband in there anymore. There is no trace of Philip left in that creature, and immediately he just turns the sound off. Turns the music off.
The tape off.
It's absolutely that's one of my favourite jokes, probably.
Same here. Yeah, the comical writing in this is just magical. It's brilliant.
Yeah, the jokes, they're really good jokes. I mean, they're good. There's great one-liners, but it's great. Set up and pay off. It's just, it's so well written. I've got
one. All I was going to say is, if anyone's seen Shaun of the Dead, but not seen Spaced, you're going to love it. Really. Yeah. If you're nerdy enough to love all the jokes and you know what we're going on about with the scripts and everything in special, you will really, really love Spaced. And if you've seen Spaced and you've never seen Shaun of the Dead, shame on you. But this is kind of like a continuation of Spaced. And the same is going into Hot Fuzz and the same is going into World's End. So
I think, yeah, I mean, I sort of want to take issue with that, but no, you're probably right. I mean, Shaun is Tim by another name.
Exactly. Yeah.
Although there are other differences with the characters, but certainly Shaun is basically Tim. Really.
Yeah, it is. He is. Yeah.
Yeah, just a few years older and with a proper job.
They've used the word Shaun. I couldn't have Tim of the Dead because it's not like
Tim of the Dead. Have no pun. Exactly. Yeah, it's got to rhyme with
Shaun
Dawn.
of the Dead is like Day of the Dead or Dawn of the Dead. It's it works better than Tim.
They could have called it Jay. Could have called him Jay of the Dead. Like Day of the Dead.
I think Shaun just
Night of the Living Dead. That doesn't really. Nothing really rhymes with that.
An average name.
Dwight of the Living Dead.
No.
Look at us trying to rewrite a brilliant script. The bloody nerve.
Exactly. Shut up. They know what they're doing. Exactly.
Although having said that, I do have one little not necessarily a criticism, but just a little concern that maybe you can help me.
Okay.
Again, massive spoiler alert. Putting up two hands like this, especially if my screen freezes, that means spoiler alert. So if you see this and you haven't seen the film, going, no, right. At the end of the film, Shaun and Liz escape from the pub onto street level through the thing into the cellar, I should know the technical term. We used to live in a pub, but anyway.
Yeah.
And they come out and they're surrounded by zombies. Oh dear. All of a sudden, almost out of nowhere, a load of soldiers and trucks turn up and they shoot all the zombies dead with machine guns and save them. I've always felt that I don't know if it's something to do with the way it was shot, like maybe or maybe the way it's edited. Maybe it's in a bit of a rush, but it always felt a bit convenient to me. Now it makes logical sense because the authorities by this point would be doing something about it, and exactly. but the army's the timing of it seems a bit brutally perfect.
Yeah, but that's movies. I just think it's a changing narrative. It's a kind of changing narrative. There's a technical aspect of let's move things on. They get outside. They're wandering. If you think of it from the audience view, they're coming out of the pub. They know it's a live or die. It's doom. They're going to live or they're going to die. They come up. They're looking around. They're as confused as the zombies are because they come up and they see they're not being straight on attacked by the zombies. The zombies are still milling around because half of them are now in the pub. They've come out and they're like, well, what the fuck? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And then suddenly, bang, the army turns up and you get the bright lights. And that's why I think is that you don't see the trucks first, you see the bright lights. It's that dazzle. It's like, what the hell's going on? And then, man, you get the lorries coming in, running over a handful of zombies. The soldiers jumping out and just start shooting.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what I think? Do you know what I think? It's partly I find the editing a little bit brutal, but okay, fair enough. It's a minor flaw. It doesn't really matter.
I think it's more a technical standpoint and I just find it a little bit for my taste. Maybe it's a little bit sudden. That sort of thing. Some people like, some people don't. I get that. So yeah.
But I think the other thing is maybe because 28 Days Later had only come out a couple of years previously. That was still that movie's quite fresh in my mind. And I mean, maybe we'll talk about that one episode. I don't know. But if you've seen that film, you know how that ends. Soldiers are not to be trusted.
Yeah.
I shall say no more. I just want to talk a bit about the characters in a bit more detail because I think the film is made in such a way that you can sort of see it through each character's eyes. Like, I mean, I don't mean POV shots. I don't mean literally, but if you sort of concentrate on each character at a time, the story can seem quite different from their point of view. They're not just like standing around bickering for the sake of it, like a Marvel movie or something. It's like everyone's kind of got a point. Even David's got a point, although he is a bit of a see you next Tuesday about it. So, let's start with Shaun.
Yeah, played by Simon Pegg.
Played by Simon Pegg. He is the slacker hero. He's like a character from a Kevin Smith or Richard Linklater movie or something like that. Yes, Shaun is, he's one of those guys who drifts through life.
Yeah.
But the film doesn't let him off the hook like you would in a lot of slacker type movies. His character arc is that he has to grow up a bit, basically. has to sort his life out, as his flatmate tells him, in that pointy, aggressive way. It's a simple arc. It's a simple story from his point of view, but it's a big deal for him because he's he's part of that. He's part of that generation who never really grew up. You know, who never really sort of put away childish things. But you know, at the end of the film, he literally sort of turns into Rambo. You know, complete with the red headband. But he has to make a sacrifice. You know, he has to leave a part of that part of his life behind, which he does.
Yeah.
Although he does keep a little bit of it locked up in the shed.
Indeed, just a little bit.
Which brings us to, which brings us
Frost.
to Ed.
Yeah,
Nick Frost as Ed.
Yeah.
Now Nick Frost, I mean, you know, he's
a bum.
You know, he's the loser best mate. You know, the sort of it's sort of a standard issue from a lot of sort of, especially from like Hollywood comedies and stuff. You have the kind of the main character who's kind of bland, and then the sidekick who gets all the best lines and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
He's gleefully callous. He drops C-bombs like confetti. You know, like the first line of the movie pretty much is, "Can I get any of you cunts a drink?"
Yeah.
I might cut that out because it's swearing. I might not because you know they might not know.
Well, it's in the film.
It's in the film. I'm quoting. Wasn't me. Not me, Mum.
Yeah.
I want him in there. At that moment when he says that line, I remember thinking in the cinema, or even I think I saw it, and I said to myself, like, that feels like the writers throwing off the yoke of the 9 p.m. watershed. Like, you know, we're making a movie, we can swear, we can say what we like. It's
Exactly.
kind of. Now, Nick Frost is an interesting case, isn't he? Because he's not really. He's not. He seems like such a natural actor to me. He's, you know.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think he's had any training or even ambition to be an actor.
No,
but he's really good in this, and he's really good in everything else I've seen him in. You know, he does play certain types usually, but still there's a lot of difference between. He could have just played Mike, his character from Spaced, in this, but Ed is a very different character to Mike.
Ed
so
is very different to Mike. Very different. Simon wanted him in the movie. They wanted to be a buddy movie. And I think from what I gathered, some of the movie execs didn't think he was a good enough actor to play the role. So they tried to push him out and try to get someone else in, and both Edgar and Simon were just definite. No, this is not happening. It's Nick Frost or no one. So so they stuck their heels in the ground, and I'm glad they did.
Because he and Simon Pegg are like best mates in real life, weren't they? And they were,
exactly.
They were laughing and joking in real life.
Well, you know the bit of in the pub where after Shaun's been dumped and he's trying to cheer him up, and they're kind of who's this guy in the pub, who's that guy in the pub, and he's just that is just off the cuff. That is all done off the cuff.
There's a lot of outtakes on the Blu-ray, I think.
It's hilarious. The outtakes is just
really
brilliant.
Rude ones as well.
Really rude ones. But a couple of rude ones made it in the film anyway. So no, I'm
talking about the ones that aren't in the film.
I know, but much ruder. So and that was all just them, just being mates, just taking the piss and having a bit of a laugh, and just like I'm going to say something.
Well, it's Nick Frost trying to make Simon Pegg laugh.
Well, that's it. It was just
which he finds quite easy to do.
Apparently. Exactly.
Judged by the outtakes.
But then they're all like it. There was I don't know if you've seen the outtake of when Peter Cernovich. Are in the kitchen, and he's talking about he's got to move out. He's such a slacker, and they just do it as Paul McCartney and
John Lennon,
John Lennon and Ringo Starr. It's hilarious.
And then they do one as Michael Caine and Sean Connery, didn't they?
Exactly.
I was thinking about weeding out my Michael Caine or / Sean Connery impressions, but I can't remember the lines, so I'll just have to pretend, just to make up the dash to do.
But
that's the crouch end away.
I think.
What about the Liz played by Kate Ashfield? Now, I mean, I don't think Liz is a particularly well written part, which is perhaps not surprising because she's written by a couple of blokes. But she does make the best of it. She brings a certain sort of toughness, but sort of a certain
and coming back to what you were saying,
straight role, isn't it?
Coming back to what you were saying about why Daisy, the character Daisy, wasn't in, and I think
Jessica Stevenson,
Jessica Stevenson couldn't play the part of Liz. Liz is too different a character to Daisy, I think.
I mean, I used to sort of wonder why she wasn't cast in that role, because it seems like the obvious, just being the main female role, the female lead. But and also, I mean, she's, you know, it's the straight role, and Jessica Hines, is she's a really good comedian. So
exactly,
it would be a waste of her talents, really.
Exactly. So
all due respect to, I mean, you know, I'm not saying Kate Ashford isn't funny. She is, but not that she has much opportunity to show it in this kind of thankless role in this movie, but because she's just like, you know, the object of the hero's quest, you know, it's not that much of a part, but she does well. She does what she can, which makes the best of it, I suppose. So now next I thought we could talk about Philip, who is Shaun's stepfather,
Philip, played by the amazing Bill Nighy. We all love Bill Nighy.
Like a lot of his roles, Bill Nighy plays him very carefully.
Exactly.
He's a very meticulous actor. I think every little move, every little shift, every little shift of weight, every little twitch of the eyebrow, every little, you know, smirk, every little thing is thought about. He's very, you know,
exactly.
But it seems natural because that's how good he is.
I know.
Because you know, at first glance, he's your common or garden, emotionally distant father. But if you look closely, stepfather, yes, which is an important distinction that Shaun insists on making. But if you even in that scene, if you look closely, there are, you know, he's sort of a bit distant. He's a bit like sharp, but he's a bit cool.
Yeah.
But I don't mean cool as in, hey, you know, like the Fonz. I mean cool as in cold, you know. But there are still hints of regret even there. You can sort of see it, and of course that pays off later when, spoiler alert, he dies. Immediately becomes a zombie immediately after reconciling with Shaun, which is it's the first big emotional moment in the film, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And it's really well done as well. It's
beautifully done.
Even in the context of what's going on in that scene as well. I mean, they're all cramped in. There's like 6 of them in a car. Driving
it's motion,
speed,
it's action, it's motion, speed, it's action, it's pace. What we
and then it goes to this kind of man dying and opening up to his stepson about the fact that he wasn't there for him as much as he wanted to be, and he wants him to grow up and look after his mum. And it's a very heartfelt scene,
especially if you're the kind of person who had a complicated relationship with his own father.
Exactly. So,
but it's. But no, he's great, and it's funny as well. And again, these are all the whole cast is full of great actors who can do comedy and drama with equal facility. And I think that's really important.
Exactly, and again, Bill Nighy is an amazing comedy actor as well,
and a great dramatic actor as well.
He's
Speaking of actors who are with equal facility in drama and comedy, we have Barbara, Shaun's mum, played by Penelope Wilton of Ever Decreasing Circles fame. if you're a large generation, that's what you know her from.
Yeah, exactly.
But she's done loads of things.
She's done loads.
That John Cleese.
Yes.
But she's great. She's the perfect screen mum. She's cheerful, friendly, helpful, slightly distracted. I was going to say, I've said dotty in my notes, but that's not the word. Slightly distracted, slightly.
She's distracted. She just plays that really nice, overly nice twee mum character.
But adorably,
it's magically done, and again makes it look effortless.
But the leitmotif of her character is denial, isn't it? It's denial.
Oh, exactly.
She's denial about the zombies. You know, when she's on the phone to Shaun, she says there will be when the zombies have broken into their house and bitten Philip off screen. You know, and she doesn't say zombies. She says, "Oh, some strange men came into the house." And you know, and she's in denial about Shaun's relationship with Philip, and you know, I think you always get the impression that she knows deep down, doesn't she?
She does, but then this is how good she is. If you remember the scene in the kitchen when, you know, Shaun's trying to like lead her over to the idea of I've got to kill Philip without even saying about it. You know,
because Shaun knows he's been bitten and that he's going to.
He knows he's been bitten. He's going to be turned into a, and he's like.
And Barbara either doesn't know that or
doesn't know it, and he's trying to be a bit coy and a bit, you know, and then he's like,
he makes that awful, says that awful thing.
Awful thing, you know, he touched me when I was a child, and
that's hard to watch.
She just knows he's lying.
Do you know, it's funny because she turns around and just gives him that look, that mum look.
That just mum look, and he's like, no,
Oh, the bloody screen froze. I'll try and do it again. I'll do the mum look again.
Go on.
I don't know if that works. You probably got the reflecting off the glasses. I'll do it without the glasses. I don't know if that works.
No.
Anyway,
it's the parent look. It's like, I'm not taking that shit.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, yeah. We've all seen it or done it.
Yeah.
But funny, the scene about that scene where he says that thing. Like when I first watched the film, it's funny. It's a function of age, I think. When I first watched that scene, I thought it was really funny in a sick kind of way, and I still do think it's funny when he says the thing about he touched me.
Yeah.
But now I watch it, and it actually hits differently. It's a bit more sort of like, oh, that's dude. I mean, I know it's desperate circumstances.
Yeah,
but
I know even with that, he's gone below the belt.
Yes, literally.
Exactly. But I mean, another thing I loved about her character was that even her very, very last line, it kind of sums what type of a character she is, even with her last line, where she goes, "Oh, it's been a funny kind of day."
Oh yeah,
and then again, she turns into a zombie.
But the sort of the kind of the emptiness of that line, the sort of the emptiness of meaning of that line, or the understatement, gives you so much room to sort of like, oh, you're not kidding, are you? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it allows you to fill it with emotion, because it's really because when again, spoiler alert, this is the moment where she turns, and Shaun has to say, well, just before she turns, he has to say goodbye to her. He knows she's about to die. It's it's a terms of endearment kind of scene. It's like he's saying goodbye to somebody he knows is about to die. His mother, it's his mom.
Yeah.
And it's genuinely tragic, and it's heartbreaking. And then to compound the feeling, the awful feeling, when she's turned, he's got to kill her. He's got to shoot her with the rifle.
Exactly.
And just, do you know that when I first watched that scene in the cinema, I remember it really shocking me. I found it really shocking that I don't mean shocking like, just like shocking in like that they went to that dark emotional place.
Yeah,
I was expecting this to be a kind of a zombie spoof comedy, which
exactly
is to an extent, but there's so much more to it. The whole tone of the movie changes irrevocably after this point.
David's just again a very interesting character played by Dylan Morgan.
Dylan Moran,
he's who the tool, you know from Black Books. Who is I really enjoyed his character. I mean, David plays his. I mean, he's basically got hots for Liz, and the only reason he's with his girlfriend Diane is because Diane is Liz's best mate.
Yeah, and she's his second choice.
So he's always having a dig at Shaun. Whatever Shaun does or whatever Shaun does wrong, he highlights it, brings it to Liz's attention. He's really kind of trying to form a wedge between Shaun and Liz. So basically he could probably ask Liz out himself.
Try and make himself look better.
And it's exactly.
He spends the whole movie whinging, doesn't he?
Exactly.
He criticizes everyone else's suggestions, never comes up with any of his own.
But you need that in the context of the story anyway.
Yeah, he's the tool. He's the tool.
Yeah,
he's the arsehole. He's the twat. You know, every one of these movies, whether it's Assault on Precinct 13, whether it's any of these kind of siege movies, there's always going to be one person. Like The Living Dead is the guy, the old, the middle-aged guy, the bald guy. It's like there's always got to be someone who's like just does all the stupid things and says let's do stupid things,
but it
probably has less regard for human life than everyone else as well.
But it's basically there as a catalyst to kind of spur on the main characters and keep the path going and
give them something to push against.
Exactly. The main character needs to develop against something, and that's part of it. So I mean, and he's a great actor at doing that anyway.
Yes.
And it was interesting seeing, because knowing him from Black Books so well, it was very similar but very different. It was a very much clean cut version of what
Bernard Black had had a bath. Yeah,
exactly. and sobered
probably
up quite an extent.
Yes, sober, clean and sober. Bernard Black. Ooh.
Oh, I know.
Horrifying.
And actually, it kind of repelled. I don't know if you got this, but I almost got repelled by it because it was
and it all comes to a head, doesn't it? When again, spoiler alert, it all comes to a head when David pulls a gun on Shaun,
and
tries to kill him,
fires, and
he fires.
It's the trigger, loaded, and it's not loaded.
He fires. So he's prepared to kill him.
Yeah,
because they're having a big argument and a Mexican standoff and all that. I mean, but then that's basically the last thing he does, apart from, I mean, he does. He kills him. 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 He decides, right, that's it, I'm leaving, and out of embarrassment, almost,
exactly,
or shame, and self-disgust and embarrassment. He decides, right, I'm leaving now. All right, because he'd been complaining about being stuck in the pub the whole time anyway. But this is like, oh, I've crossed the line now. I can't stay here. I would rather take my chances. I would rather take my chances with the zombies, who literally, as we said before, they literally tear him apart in the goriest scene in the whole movie. And it's like they're sort of like putting their hands at his.
Well, exactly.
Pull up his thing and pull it.
It's so well done. It's so well done. And then it cuts
to the model, the mannequin, where they pull his head off, and it's and the reaction
it's really good. I mean, basically, he's standing against the window, and they're telling him to come and get away from the window because the zombies are
because they're right behind him. They're going to break the glass,
and they're trying to save him, and he's like backing off because he just doesn't feel so uncomfortable in that situation. And the zombies crash through the window, grab him. The zombies are pulling him out. They grab his legs to try and pull him back in, and the zombies literally just rip his guts
apart.
Just literally tear his flesh apart.
And all his intestines come out in a big
intestines and all just that, and then his legs tear off. So the two
in the
pub, it's just horrible, but brilliantly done. It's really well done.
And still only a 15 rating.
And still only 15. That was the point where I was shocked that it was actually a 15.
That if anything was going to push it into an 18, it would be that.
So
could have happened to a nicer fella. Anyway, so last main character really is Diane, who we've already mentioned, David's girlfriend, played by Lucy Davis. And she is Liz's sort of hippy dippy actress friend, and she has a moment where she shows everyone how to act like a zombie, like shake out, and here's how you do a zombie. What's that line she says?
Look at the vacant look.
Yeah, vacant, but with a hint of regret, like a drunk who's lost a bet or whatever the line is. Again, it's not that much of a part, but she does have her moments, and they make use of her comedy chops. She was in The Office. I think there's a bit in the commentary where they say Simon Pegg says because Lucy Davis is the daughter of Jasper Carrott, who, in case you don't know, is a very famous English comedian.
Yes,
and he's apparently Simon Pegg used to wind her up on set by referring to her as Baby Carrot, which I thought was really cute.
Oh, that's fabulous. Because the other characters, the zombies. So, who are your favourite zombies?
Well, it's got to be Ty, isn't it?
Ty
doesn't really do very much. My favourite zombie.
So I'll tell you a couple of little snippets I like to see.
Yeah, go on.
You remember in the walking scene where he leaves the house and goes back over to the shop?
Oh, yeah, the second time to the shop.
Zombies. And, of course, he goes there, buys a Diet Coke and a Cornetto.
Red Cornetto.
And he says, like, I'm missing 15 pence, to the shopkeeper.
Yeah, Nelson.
There, who comes up later as a zombie. So when they leave the house and they're jumping in the car to get away, the shopkeeper's there and notice he's got his hand out as if you owe me the 15 pence.
Details, baby, details.
Details.
It's details. The devil and the angels in this case are in the detail. Yeah,
very much so. Yeah. So there's
I don't know my favourite zombie. I don't really have a favourite.
So
zombie.
Great. I mean, there's so many good ones. I mean, you do know that the majority of the zombies, the people that actually played the main part, obviously outside the pub, big group.
Yeah.
The main group of those zombies, the horde of the zombies, were fans of the series Spaced.
Yeah. They were recruited through the Spaced Out website, weren't they?
And they were paid £1 each.
Yes. Because, I suppose because they would have done it for free, but they've got to pay them something.
Exactly. They had to pay them something. So, have to pay them something. And, do you know of any kind of famous people or relatively famous?
Tyres from Spaced, isn't he? Yeah. He's got the headphones and the yellow cap and everything. Pretty lucky, all that. It's Henry Crinkler. Dancing at the traffic lights.
Yeah. You know what we mean if you've ever seen.
Yeah, Spaced. If you've seen Space, if you haven't seen Space, then you probably think I've just what is that too much? No, I haven't had too much. I haven't had enough.
No. Supposedly, there are some well, famous or not so sweet, but Lauren Laverne was one of the.
Was she?
Yeah, she was one of the zombies.
Where is she then?
I'm not sure. I've been trying to find her, but I was going through the IMDb
She's in the horde
list.
somewhere.
I was getting a list of character names and everything else, and I'll go scrolling through, and I was like, zombie. I was like, oh yeah, see who's here, and see if there's any fate. And yeah, she just pops up, Lauren Laverne. So, oh, okay. So,
do you reckon that was the point in her? Do you reckon that was the point in her career where she thought, "Oh, bugger this! I'm not going to do Desert Island Discs."
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, can you? I've got a little game for you.
Go on then.
Little game. Can you name all of the actors? Yeah. Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End. Right.
Yeah.
Can you name all of the actors who are in all 3 movies? I count 6. There may be more, but I count 6.
Well, Simon Pegg because Nick Frost.
Simon Pegg, Nick Frost.
Yeah.
2.
Oh God. Thingy. Forgotten his name. Martin Freeman is in.
Very good. Yes, he's in all 3. Yeah.
Where is he in Hot Fuzz? I haven't seen Hot Fuzz for a while. Should have watched it.
Where the first scene when he's told where he goes to see his commanding officer and says,
"Oh yes, it's
First it's Martin Freeman, then it's Steve Coogan, then it's somebody else who is also on this list.
Peter Seranovich isn't in.
No, I think he's only in the first one.
Yeah,
pretty sure he's only in this one.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure he's not in all 3 anyway.
Right.
You're halfway there.
Yeah, I know.
So close I can taste it. I'll give you a clue. One of them was also in Spaced. One of the main characters in Spaced.
One of the main characters in Spaced?
Yeah.
The problem is, you know me, I'm terrible with names. I'm great with faces.
I know, yeah, but you don't have to come up with the name. You can just sort of say, oh, you're one who was the thing in the thing, and I'll just
put
you out your misery with the actual I'm not a monster. I'm not a monster.
I know, Tim. Well, you haven't got Brian. Brian's not in it.
He's only in the last one. He's only in World's End. They finally found a bar for him.
It
took them ages. They finally got a bar for him.
Yeah,
He plays a barman at the end.
And Twist.
No, it's not her. I don't think she's in any of them, actually. No, unless she's a zombie. So who's that leave? Who's left?
Well, Thingy upstairs.
There you go.
She?
Julia
Deakins. Oh
yeah,
she plays the bar lady in the pub, and I can't remember in World's End. Where is she in the World's End?
She runs the hotel where they're staying. The 5 of them are staying in Hot Fuzz.
She's one of the doppelgammers in Shaun of the Dead
she's the mum. She's Jessica Hines' mum. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. Got 2 more. Can you do it?
Oh shit!
I'm gonna put my hand down because this is starting to hurt.
Yeah, I know. It's just holding your hand up for fuck's sake.
Use the other hand.
Rest it on your elbow.
I'll do that. There you go. 4. Right. Got 2 more. Where's my thumb? Oh, there it is.
It's behind your hand. Right. Oh, come on. No, I can't. Oh, come on. Put me out my misery.
Do you want me to put you out of your misery?
Go on.
Okay.
Go on.
Rafe Spall, son of Timothy, he's the cocky, the guy in the shop in Shaun of the Dead, the young lad who's a bit chubby and sort of he's tall and he takes a piss out of him. So he's the one who says you've got red on you to Shaun. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
He's also he's one of the detectives, one of the Andys in Hot Fuzz.
Oh yes, he is.
Andy Considine and him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And in World's End, he's one of the guys. He's Martin Freeman is showing a young couple around the house because he's a state agent. He's the guy in the young couple, and so that's 5. Who's left? One more. As far as I know, there may be others I've forgotten, but the 6th I know.
Well, yeah, because the only other person I was thinking that was in space is Bill Bailey, but he wasn't in Shaun of the
Dead. The one remaining person who's in all 3 movies is not in Spaced.
Ah, right, okay, I don't know.
Bill Nye.
So he is.
He's Philip in this. In Hot Fuzz, he's the sort of top police guy who says, "You're making us all look bad." And in World's End, he's the voice of the alien overlords. You never see him, but he's the voice.
No, exactly.
Okay, let's move on. To the homageometer. Now, I've got a list. It's a short list. But we've mentioned a couple of them already, but films that are a very clear influence on this film in some way or another. Because on the Spaced, in case you don't know, on the Spaced DVDs, make the screen yellow, make the screen yellow. there is a function, a feature on the DVD called a homageometer.
Yeah.
Which is every time there's the show makes a reference to a movie or a TV show or anything.
Yeah.
It comes up. You can have like a subtitle setting, so it comes up on the bottom of the screen. This is from Robot Wars or whatever, or this is from Reservoir Dogs or whatever it is.
This is from Star Wars, and
Pulp Fiction was a big one.
And George Lucas was very, very happy.
Star Wars Star Wars comes up a lot.
Star Wars was a big one, and George Lucas was actually really, really good about On Spaced, because they thought they were going to get into a lot of trouble, and then George was like, no, that was really cool.
Is that when Tim burns all his boxes full of Star Wars stuff?
No.
Phantom Menace. Didn't you like it?
Yeah.
No. I'll get you some money by the end of the week. Again, if you've seen Space, that will make sense. If not, what is he going on about? The bloke in the hat, he's just making shit up. Dawn of the Dead, obviously, because that's the title of the
Coming to get you, Barbara.
Coming to get you, Barbara. That's from Night of the Living Dead, but it's close enough. American Werewolf in London, which we mentioned earlier, or you mentioned earlier, because it's got the mirror gag when he's in the bathroom and he closes the mirror that's ajar, and then you see a character in the
happens twice in the film as well.
It does in the bathroom, because and it's always Peter in it, Peter alive, and then Peter zombie behind the curtain,
and
you never see his willy.
No.
I've paused. And also, the other thing it's got in common with American Werewolf is it's got these shifts in tone between comedy, horror, and drama, which is kind of very specific. It's a very specific thing, and do you think that those shifts in tone? And I'm going to ask you this question when we do American Werewolf as well. Do you think these shifts in tone always work? Are there moments where it's a bit jarring? Do you think it always works?
I think comedy horror, you have to have in some ways the relief from the horror. You can't just have horror. So it is that kind of relief.
Well, you can. It's a hard watch. Anyway, So it's kind of, but in this film, I think it's like the shift in tone. Again, it's the horror of it's zombies and it's blood and guts.
Exactly,
The comedy because it's funny, the one-liners as we've discussed, but the drama as well. It's got the drama of it doesn't shy away from the dramatic weight of what the characters have to do. The dramatic moments are very powerful. They're very moving, and I think on the whole, I think they do. I think the shifts in tone do generally work. I think there might be it might depend also. I mean, again, it's a bit like what I said earlier about when we first saw Shaun, it was 20 years ago. We were younger. I don't think my personality or attitudes have changed that much since I was 30 or 29, whatever it was. But enough to sort of maybe there've been little shifts in my attitude to things, certain things, or my emotional responses to things, because life experience.
Yeah, exactly.
Things can hit differently, as I said. Because, and I think with this film, I think maybe there are moments where things that I might have accepted as just funny or just horrible or just whatever when I was younger. Now they hit differently. Like I mean, I can the older. Do you know my mum's? I might keep this in, but my mum told me many years ago, probably when they would have been in their, mum and dad would have been in their 60s at the time. And my mum told me, she confided in me that it's a weird thing happens when you get older. She said, me and your dad will sit watching stupid rubbish on the telly and we'll just start crying over it because it's the stupidest thing. It's not like it's not something really, it's not like really good drama or something. It's just the stupidest thing. And we'll start crying our eyes out, tearing up at the stupidest thing. You just get more emotional as you get older or something like that, is what she said.
Yeah.
And now that I'm not quite that old, but I'm older, certainly.
Yeah.
Now, 20 years on, I look at things, including this film, and I'll start crying at the drop of a hat. It's embarrassing. It wasn't embarrassing because it's all right, but it's a grown man should be able to cry.
Of course. And I think when you are older, you've just had more life experiences. You've come across more variations of things that
things remind you of something.
Exactly, and you come across these things and they touch something that's happened to you previously, and it's something you might not have thought about for years, decades, or something that you haven't reconciled within your own self, or reconciled with someone else, and then it's kind of touching that, pulling tugging on that heartstring of yours, and it opens the floodgates for you. And so don't be surprised when that happens. And yeah, I'd agree with you, Mum. She's yeah. I
mean that's, but after she told me that, I had to shoot her in the head with a rifle from the pub.
Exactly,
so,
as you do.
I mean, because I couldn't have that hang over.
I know. Mum was lovely though. So
yeah. Well, yeah. That's why I had to kill him. That's, even for me, that's a sick joke.
Yes.
But my mum had a sick sense of humour, so I don't think
I know she was lovely.
She just said, don't be so, terrible you are, boy, don't be saying things like that. No. My mum was Indian. No, she was Welsh.
Yeah.
I mean, because Shaun of the Dead is basically, it's assault on precinct 13 in a pub.
Yeah.
But then assault on precinct 13 was Rio Bravo in a police station.
Yeah.
So if John Carpenter is the daddy, then Howard Hawks is the granddaddy.
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs with the Mexican standoff in the pub where don't put that gun at my mum.
Yeah.
Every Which Way But Loose was in there.
Yeah.
With his, when Ed does his
orangutan
impression. Oh, great! It froze when I did the brilliant. Raiders of the Lost Ark. This was the one I noticed this time. There's a Raiders of the Lost Ark reference, arguably.
Oh, where's that?
Although knowing Raiders of the Lost Ark, they probably knew this from another film.
Yeah.
When he pours spirits all along the
bar. Oh, yes, spirits on the bar. Yeah, exactly.
Which I don't think that actually works in real life.
No, it doesn't.
I don't think alcohol is actually... People think alcohol is flammable. I think that's actually a...
Well, it is certain degrees of flammable. I mean, if you're making a flaming zombie...
Yes,
really
a flaming Homer.
You have to use a very, very high, like woods rum, to actually light the.
See, I knew you'd know about this. I knew you'd know. Like, I knew you'd have the
how
details
to make a flaming zombie. Yeah.
Well, how to set fire to. It's the sort of stupid thing you'd know. Like, you and your brother. I bet you'd be like, I bet you set fire to. I bet you blew up your mum and dad's drinks cabinet when you were kids.
No.
Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. Okay,
we smashed the light shade in the living room and then swapped the one from the upstairs landing to the one in the living room to think that we get away with it. So yeah, we did.
You really thought they wouldn't notice. Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, here's my favourite bits of the movie. Let's do our favourite bits of the movie. I want to do one first, and you can do one, and then you.
All right.
Chucking records at the zombies.
Oh yes, and the selection. It was the selection that was the even better bit. Yeah.
Now I'm a huge Prince fan, so the joke about the Batman soundtrack, I love that. Although I do actually quite like that album. It's not as good as Purple Rain or Sign of the Times, but I still wouldn't have thrown it.
Yeah, no.
We've got the
next bit off.
Go on.
Kind of after that is where the first zombie, when he pushes her down and she falls onto the spike. But then when she gets up, and as she sort of gets back up, you see through the hole in the body, both Nick Frost and
of gore
Simon
just
Pegg.
drops down, doesn't it?
That I love that.
I don't know if you noticed, but in the back, this is something I never noticed before.
Yeah.
In the back of the Winchester, in the back of the pub, when I think I can't remember who it is, but they go and switch the fuses. I think it's Shaun actually. Switch the fuses, and he finds that the zombies are all hoarded at the back of the pub as well.
Pulls the blind down.
Yeah. Did you notice? Yeah, pulls the blind down, because then if you can't see it, they're not there. Did you notice there is a poster on the wall advertising Sailor Jerry rum, which I was drinking but have now finished.
Oh.
So if you want to send me a case.
I'm on lamb's spice.
You're on well. Now we have not taken any payment for advertising lambs or Sailor
advertising,
Jerry. Yeah. But if they want to give us some money,
exactly, it would be nice. Or just rum, or just pay us in rum.
Pay us in rum. I've always send us a case. The movie has a great soundtrack. Now, what is your favorite? What is your favorite music cue, and why is it "Don't Stop Me Now"? I didn't even have to finish it. I mean, I said music cue as well, didn't I?
Exactly. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, that's what I did there. What I did there, you saw it. That was that's a great set piece, isn't it? I mean,
it's just amazing.
I think I heard that the guy who they hit him with the sticks, which is it John? I think.
John. Because he was a proper stunt coordinator.
Because didn't he? Yeah, he was a stunt performer. He wasn't.
Yeah.
Rather than an actor, he was a stunt performer. But I think he said, didn't he? I read somewhere that they were sort of shooting the scene, and they were hitting him with and trying not to hit him too hard because he's an old man. But apparently, I think I heard somewhere that they sort of like he told him off for like, mate, you're not hitting me. You're not hitting me hard enough. It doesn't look real. Hit me hard enough and take. I've got padding on. It's all right. I can take it. I know I'm 75, but I can take it. It's all right.
Exactly. They were like, "Oh, are you okay?" It's like, come on,
mate. Come on. Yeah, now too risky.
That's the thing. Yeah. I mean, I actually really love when I first watched it the 2 long tracking shots walking over to the shop and back. I love that. First time I watched that, that's brilliant. And what I found out as well was the director and photographer at the time was like, no, that's just going to be boring. It's just don't just bother doing that. That's just not going to work. I guess he was like looking at the workload involved with it all, and thinking, oh God, I've got to get this in, this and this in, and make sure we've got to do it right, and we'll have to take loads and loads of takes and stuff.
Just being lazy then.
But of course it's been regarded as one of the best aspects of that film.
It's one of the most memorable bits of the film. That double.
Oh, it is
double take in a different sense of the word. Yeah.
And Simon went back 20 years later. He went back last year and sort of like retook a walk across the road to the shop and back.
I think, in conclusion, then I would say that when I first saw Shaun of the Dead 21 years ago, I thought it was pretty much a perfect masterpiece. But
we loved it. I mean, didn't we come out and go, absolutely should we go back again?
Yeah, should we go and watch it again? Yeah.
I think we all both walked out and did a little bit, and because the people we were with were just like, we were going, should we go back in? And they're like,
let's go back.
Yeah.
I don't think we did. I don't know if I did go and see it again at the cinema, but as soon as the DVD came out,
we were ready to. We were ready to.
Oh, we were, definitely, yeah. But I was in a very, very good mood at the time because, as I say, we were celebrating, and because of my love for space, I was kind of maybe predisposed to give it a bit of an easy ride. Since Shaun of the Dead, though, the same creative team, they've got back together and made 2 more films for this unofficial or whatever official trilogy. And Hot Fuzz and The World's End, I mean, in a lot of ways, they are probably both superior films. But which makes sense because they've grown as filmmakers through experience. So I mean, where does like what order would you put? Where does Shaun stand in the trilogy? What order would you put them in?
If you're best or most enjoyable? How would you categorize
however you like, both.
Right.
Whatever.
I mean, for me, it's kind of weird, but I put Shaun of the Dead at the top. I really, really enjoyed it. Out of the 3, I put Shaun the highest, even though I'm not a horror movie fan, but the comedy value, I think it was because it was straight off the back of Space. It was so much more like Space than the others, and that's not degrading Hot Fuzz or World's End, far from it. But I actually put them in order. I mean,
they're all great films. All 3 are great.
They're great. But it was I think for enjoyment value, it's Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and World's End.
Descending order.
In descending order.
I think even really, it's an unfair question, isn't it?
It is a bit because it's personal taste and how you feel at the time. So,
they're all so good that like the difference between them is a couple of fag papers. You know what I mean? It's like I always say about Alien and Aliens.
Different films, but
I slightly prefer Aliens to Alien, and I fucking love Alien. So like Aliens is here, Alien is there. Don't you see the difference?
No, you just froze there, so it just stayed the same.
Yeah. So, no, but this is it. It's so like the Cornetto trilogy is like that.
Yes.
So and most other films are sort of about here, and you know what I mean. It's not. So it doesn't really matter in a way. Okay, so I mean that's it really. I mean, Shaun of the Dead. Yeah, it's if you haven't seen it, and like you said before, if you've seen Space and you haven't seen Shaun of the Dead, what's wrong with you?
Exactly. And if you are going to watch these movies again, watch them in that order. Watch Shaun of the Dead first.
Well, watch them in release order.
Hot Fuzz, then watch World's End, because there is this kind of nice flow. They do flow into each other, and you will get it from watching in and that order as well. And yeah, I think Well Done actually ties things up a bit nicely as well. So,
well, I mean, it's you can't get much more of a finale than the end of the world, can you?
Exactly. Yeah.
You can't really, you really can't top that. As successive seasons of Doctor Who proved, you can't. Yeah. You can only threaten the entire universe once. So, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, and all points in between and neither. Thank you for listening to our inane zombified ramblings.
Yeah, our fun ramblings, as we always and mildly drunken ramblings.
Thank you for watching.
Indeed.
And don't forget to
like and subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe and sub-like and all that good stuff, and ring the notification bell, whatever that is.
If you want to bother with that sort of stuff, otherwise,
whatever. And
well, until the next time.
Until the next time.
We're about to discuss what film that will be, or something else.
Decide what we're going to do next.
There are other things than films kind of on the agenda. Well, it's still movie based, but not a film. There's going to be some. We're going to have some discussions, but you'll be seeing that in time. So anyway,
watch this.
He's looking a bit perplexed. Yeah, watch this space. Anyway, so until the next time. Thank you very much for watching. You've been a pleasure. And goodbye for now.
Bye for now.
Bye.